So today's Christmas Eve. We're probably going to go to a church. We've been told by one of the locals that some churches have like a Bharatanatyam, which is a cultural dance performance on Christmas Eve. So we just picked the biggest church we could find around us, which is about 15 meters from home. And we'll be going to the church for mass and then going to the mall after. Hey guys, so I'm with my friend Joe.
Hello. Bonjour. This is my wife. I got my wine and my bread.
He's got his wine and his bread apparently. Since it's Christmas Eve, we decided to head up to a church just to kind of see what the vibe is like over here. And we might go get dinner after. The plan is to stick to the standard Ayurvedic diet, but like just eat out for a change. Yeah, so we all had to get a pass. There's about 9 of us or maybe 7 of us. I didn't count quite right. And there's like someone else joining us later as well. So we're all just gonna head off to a mass, which is actually gonna be in Malayalam. So it'll be pretty interesting, but you know, I guess it's all for the experience. What else? So today's treatment was pretty standard, what I always explain to you guys about anyway. And then I had to go see the doctor after because I missed him when he was doing his rounds because I had my treatment on at the time. So caught up with him after. I went down to the outpatient clinic and I just sat down waiting for like I think 45 minutes until he was free to see me, and just had a conversation with him. So he was saying that we're going to get a couple of blood tests done just to like rule a couple of things out given my recent complaints. So I think the blood tests might be tomorrow because I didn't get anything done today. And you know, usually when he gives a direction, the nurses just come to your room, just follow through with it. So no one's come to see me yet, so I think the blood test might just be tomorrow. But what else? So I'm done with my oil enemas for now. I did ask him why I wasn't having a Kashayam enema done, and the reason was because he said my stomach was too weak and that it would be too strong on my body. Having said that, he did think about it a little bit and he was like, oh, maybe we'll go ahead and just try one out and then we'll see how we go. Joe over here has got very different problems, so he has very different treatments.
I have to pick it.
No, you don't have to, but you can if you want to. But his wheelchair's in the back, in what he calls the dicky.
In the dicky.
So I think he's
D2.
Well, Joe's come here actually quite a bit. He's been here 4 times already in like the past 5 years, and he's, you know, very dedicated. He's also got a tattoo in Malayalam that, you know, yeah. I'm not sure what it says. What does it say, Joe?
People with good health gives a happiness around.
Oh, that's cute.
So cute, huh?
Yeah, it is very cute.
So cute.
Yeah, it's because you're cute. What else? Yeah, so then after that I had a treatment after I finished with the doctor, I had a conversation with him, came back to my room, and then I had a treatment that they call Nasya. So the Nasya treatment is meant to target your nose, and also I think it does something to your head as well, like so it does eliminate the problem of headaches that are caused by a cold or like by sinuses. So like I've mentioned before, I do actually have to like sniff a lot and clear my throat a lot because I've had this cold for like a really long time. It's been almost 1.5 years now. So the Nasya treatment initially, so a nurse comes into your room and then you start like holding a steam. So she has like the steamer and you just kind of inhale it for like 10 minutes until you start to sweat. And after that they insert a bunch of like I think like 5 or 6 drops in each nostril, and you just got to really inhale it. And it's straight up ghee, and might be ghee mixed with something else, but your nose literally smells like buttered naan. Like I can't describe it any other way. It just smelled like someone was baking or cooking or something like that. And it's a bit uncomfortable. Like I still have the smell in my nostrils. Have you had the Nasya?
Yeah.
Does your nose?
It's up to
Yeah, it does really smell like.
It smells of vomit in my nose.
Oh, so some people say it smells like vomit, because this other girl who joined recently asked me if it smelled like vomit, and for me it just smelled like naan. So there you go. I guess you gotta try it to find out. Yeah, and then after you kind of like let the drops sink in, your mouth starts to kind of make a lot of saliva, and you just gotta keep going spitting it out, because obviously it's not good to just swallow your, like, especially like your phlegm and stuff. Yeah, so it was a lot of spitting, and it was a real burning sensation at the back of my throat. So at the roof of my mouth there was like a weird burning sensation. It was really uncomfortable. Obviously not painful, but just really uncomfortable, and obviously you can't do anything to stop that, I guess. And later on, a nurse comes in the room, and she's got like a plate with coal on it, so heated coal, and then kind of like a cover over it, and then she wraps this paperish cone, and you kind of insert the cone in your nostril and you inhale the coal. So I wasn't quite sure how to do it. Unfortunately, my nurse didn't speak English or Tamil, so she was just kind of telling me to inhale. But I did find out from one of the other patients that you're meant to just really inhale the smoke and like feel it inside, and then just exhale normally. So I wasn't aware of that. It was really uncomfortable having smoke in my nose, like so close to my nasal passage. So I was just kind of doing like really small breaths. So I guess I know for next time now that I need to like actually inhale that smoke. 'Cause when it was initially in my nose, right, like I guess you kind of just grow up with the idea that inhaling smoke is not good for you. So like to me it was just like, oh, this can't be right. I don't need to inhale the smoke. I just need to keep exhale, like just kind of getting a whiff of it. But I don't know. Did you know that you should do that, Joe?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So we just found out now through our friend. Well, yeah, that's that. Yeah, it's like 5:45, so the rest of them are waiting for their Uber. Hopefully we all make it in time. And I'll try to get like a recording or like some pictures or something that I can chuck in here. So that's the church right in front of us. We've just arrived. And it's huge. It's got like a dome on top as well. And oh, look at that. It's fancy. Bit bumpy, but it's cool with the palm trees and stuff like that. Okay.
Like it's that guy. I'm gonna just
You're gonna email me?
Yeah. They'll be like, I have faith that you took a picture.
Oh wow. Yeah, look at
I'm
that.
really bad.
I think it might be a basilica. It's huge and it's so beautiful. And I do wish we were there a bit earlier so we could have taken nicer photos before the crowd, because I think to be respectful during the prayers, we were not really allowed to use our phones. I did sneak a tiny little video, you know, just because I really wanted to capture that moment. It was so beautiful. And yeah, it was like the whole mass, the whole prayer was in Malayalam, but it's still nice to be there, like just to kind of get a feel for things. And it's just nice, you know, like to be in congregation like that. I just realized that I was meant to take a video yesterday, but I completely forgot, because it was going to be something a bit different, so I figured it'll be pretty interesting. We headed out to Lulu Mall again. The doctor really doesn't recommend going out. We took a cab, headed out to Lulu Mall. It was huge. Yeah, so many people, just a bit of a nightmare, honestly. Like as soon as we entered the Lulu hypermarket side, Mum and I were like, oh, like I've got a bit of a headache. Mum was feeling nauseous. I was having pain in my leg, etc., etc. And at the mall, there's a restaurant called Paragon. Every local I've spoken to who's like coming from overseas, they talk this place up so much, and honestly it was not a letdown. So Paragon was a bit fancy for a food court sort of restaurant, but the price was still pretty reasonable. Like the 6 of us ate decent portions, and I think we spent about 1,900 rupees. And we told them that we were coming from the hospital and therefore we need like Ayurvedic sort of food, so they made it less spice, less oil, no meat, that sort of thing. Honestly, still, it was amazing. And also I had this thing called a wheat paratha. So a lot of South Indians I've met talk up how the South Indian paratha is so much better than North Indian paratha. And I was like, I don't really think it's that different. But turns out I've been eating the North Indian paratha my whole life, which I never realized. And the South Indian one is very similar to this thing called lacha paratha. I don't know if that's a proper term, but that's what we called it in my house. But it was amazing. They did this thing called wheat paratha, which was made out of wheat flour, which is better for us than refined flour according to the Ayurvedic diet. and it was so good. Like, it was honestly, I couldn't really tell the difference. I thought it would be a bit like a chapati, but it wasn't. So that was obviously, you know, very, it was good news for me over there. I would just recommend sticking to the diet. Mom tried cheating once, and she felt terrible after, not just mentally, like, because she felt guilty, but also like just let the medicine just do its job and try to stay as good as possible. And, yeah, and then we headed back around 8:30, 9ish. Look, I will be honest, being out, like, the minute I got into the Uber to head to the church, I was feeling so tired. I was not feeling great at all, and I just wasn't in my best state. But then I decided to just not be a party pooper and go ahead with it. So I would warn you guys against, you know, like, just going out too much, because it can be really taxing. Because this massage, like, everyone thinks like, oh, you're getting a full body massage, so much fun, like, so relaxing, but it's so taxing on your body. And then on Christmas Day, which was really, again, like, it was just another day, came back for dinner, and then one of these girls, she's so social, she's so lovely, she left last night. She was just like, oh, let's have a cake or something. And I was like, I don't think we're allowed to have a cake. But then she went around and asked permission from, like, the doctors and all of that, kind of got their approval to buy a tiny little cake. And then we sent, you know, one of the workers outside, got a cake, and then we all just kind of like shared it. It was a really, really nice moment. I do think I have a video of it, so I'll chuck that in here. Don't go out too much. It is quite overwhelming. I've recorded like 2 or 3 videos just sort of highlighting that. It is very overwhelming mentally and physically. Like, I get a massive headache, I get really dizzy, and then like I just feel really shit when I come back. But then I had a really bad like back pain, I had trouble falling asleep, and it's not just me. I thought I was being a wuss, but my mom's been complaining about the same thing, and the same with like 2 or 3 other people who've just left the treatment. They've also been complaining about how just being in a crowd, being in a car, but like in a traffic-free area, has been like really overwhelming for them. So keep that in mind as well. Bye.
Bye bye.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.